Hi, Clint Coons here with Anderson Business Advisors, and in this video I'm going to discuss using a property manager with your limited liability company. All right, you may be an investor like me who invests outside the state in which they live, and so it really doesn't make sense for you to try to manage the properties remotely because that would just become a nightmare. So what you'll end up doing oftentimes is hiring a local property manager to handle your real estate investments for you. Now, the issue often arises for people who do this: where do I have that property manager send the rent checks every month or my payment every month after they've held out their fees? Well, I get the idea that it can be confusing. So you have to then look at your structure and determine how are you set up and where do you want that money to roll. There's two ways you could do this. Let's assume that we have our limited liability company right here. Here's my LLC. It owns this property here. And let's say I have a few LLCs set up. Here's another property over here. Let's say these were Florida properties. And if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that oftentimes I'll tell you if you're using a state-specific LLC, like these are in Florida, Florida offers no charging order protections. Watch those other videos on charging order protections. If you don't know what that is, it's very important that you understand that concept. Then you'll have these LLCs owned down here by what is referred to as a holding LLC. And that's just a term that I put on it, but this LLC is typically going to be in Wyoming. And then you're going to own that Wyoming limited liability company. So let's assume this is your structure and you have this out-of-state property management company over here that's managing all of your real estate for you. So they're managing these properties. So where are they going to send the rents? Well, ideally what you're going to want to do is have them send the rents to the respective LLCs. So property number one, it's going to send the rent check to here. Property number two, it'll send the rent check to here. This is ideally the way it should roll, but oftentimes it's not how it's going to happen. Because this property management company over here, if you have multiple properties, they want to keep it as simple as possible. And if you're telling them they need to have different entities they're sending the rent checks to, that means different EINs they have to account to for these payments, it complicates their business for them. So they're going to ask you for one entity. They may even try to send the money to you directly. You don't want the money coming to you directly. You want it to go to one of your boxes. So this then leaves us with two choices. Okay, choice number one is you can have the money sent directly down here to your Wyoming holding LLC. So this is another reason why I like this holding structure here, having this LLC, because it makes the process of working with out-of-state property managers a little simpler. So you have the checks collected down, the money collected down here. Now, if you watch my other videos, I've told you how important it is to run money through the respective LLCs. Keep in mind, if you have to go this route because of your property manager, then you need to have really good books and records here, all right? You need to make sure that you're properly accounting for each LLC as if it received the money. So this is where you need to have a Superman CPA or bookkeeper that's in there, and they're doing a really great job of keeping things clean. Because if anything happened here, and this one came under attack, a claim that a creditor could make or the attorney might make is that, hey, this is all one common enterprise. You never collected any rents. The rents went to the blue box, never went to the brown box. Therefore, we're just going to treat it all as one, as if the blue box owned the properties themselves. Now, that's an argument. It's not a winning argument, but it is an argument. So your counter to that argument is, well, the property manager, they wouldn't pay the box. They wanted only one entity that they would pay, so we had it paid down here, and we just separately accounted for the income. There isn't a legal requirement that you actually have to run the money through the brown box, but you do get into that commingling issue. That's a potential argument they could raise. So option number one, have it run to the blue box. Okay, so that's how you'd work with an out-of-state property manager. Option number two, maybe you have your own corporation that you've set up. Maybe you flip property. Let's say you live in Texas, so you have this Texas corporation set up because it's flipping, it's engaged in wholesale, something of that nature. Well, another thing it could do is manage your LLC. So, wow, if we've got this company set up where I have a management agreement between these limited liability companies, and all this is a piece of paper, 4-page agreement that you put together with your LLCs, then what you could ask this out-of-state property management company to do is rather than sending the money here, have it send it to your corp. Now your corporation will collect those proceeds, all right, on behalf of these boxes. So think of it like a subcontractor, all right? This is what this company is to your corporation. Your corporation is really the manager, but it subcontracts out the management in Florida because it's not registered to do business there, so it's subcontracting that money out. And so then it collects the money back here, then all the money comes in here. Then what it could do is separately account, have really good Superman books up here, and then distribute the money directly to the blue box. Or if you have bank accounts set up here, then I would run the money directly through these brown boxes before it goes down to the blue box like that. So when you're using a property management company to manage your real estate and you have boxes, there are some complications that are going to come up. I mean, it's just part of doing the business. I mean, I've seen a lot of people just say, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to put all my properties into one LLC because it's going to make it easier for the property management company. Don't let the property management company dictate to you how you're going to run your structure. Because at the end of the day, if one lawsuit develops at an LLC that holds 10 properties, I doubt your property manager is going to come to you and say, let me help defend you in this lawsuit because we refuse to pay multiple LLCs and we forced you into this position. You see how absurd this becomes? Use sound planning. You can work around companies that will not allow you to do what have the money go to the respective companies. My name is Clint Coons with Anderson Business Advisors, and in this video we discuss how to use an outside property management company with your limited liability companies.